Hello and welcome to CGE Q&A Wednesdays. I am Sakina Bunch, your relationship health and wellness coach. Today, we're going to be talking about being stressed. But before we do, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Stith Family Farms, yes, and Military Wife Matters. Military Wife Matters delves into those issues that many people don't want to talk about, but that is absolutely necessary. So that's Military Wife Matters. They will be back up starting in September with new episodes. So when we talk about being stressed, there are a whole plethora of things that can stress us out. It could be our jobs, it could be our family, it could be just any number of things, even including traffic. Traffic can definitely stress you out, especially if you're driving in rush hour with people who are in no rush. Yes, but we must do things to help us minimize our stress level. So one thing that we can do, many of us will migrate toward food as our first go-to. Food should not be our first go-to when we're stressed out, because what happens? We only get more stressed because we look in the mirror and we've gained all this weight, right? So the first thing really should just be to take a break. Whatever it is, whatever is going on, just take a break. But if you're in a position where you kind of can't take a break, take a mental break. Do some meditations in your mind. Count backwards from 10 to 1. I know that helped me save a child or two in my household when I counted from 10 to 1. Sometimes I had to start at 100. One time I had to start at 1,000 and I actually made it all the way back to 1 and had to go up again. So whatever works for you, that's what you do. So at Clean Good Eats, we are bringing the family back to the table, right? And a table in the household is a place where you can kind of hash out whatever is going on throughout the day. That is the safe haven, the table. That's where conversations should go on. But a lot of times what happens is we have one kid going over there, another kid going over there, husband's working later, you're working, wife is working late. It's something, but we have to protect that table time, because that table time is actually a stress reducer. It's a stress reducer in a number of ways. Number one, because you know your whole family is sitting at that table safe, right? But also it's a stress reliever because you can talk. And you have to develop in your home, if you haven't already, that environment where it is safe to talk, that there are no repercussions, or at least no serious repercussions, for just being able to talk. But then also at the table, there should be some good food. Food is healing. I'm not even gonna lie on that. So when we talk about the fact that, when we're stressed, we go straight to the food, it shouldn't be the first thing we go to. But don't negate that food now, because food can be comforting if you do it right. So today we're gonna make one of my favorite desserts. It's actually one of my most requested desserts, and it is the apple, Asian pear, and banana crumble. So it's gonna be good. So let's get some apples and some Asian pears, right? First, let's turn on our skillet. Let's turn on our skillet, maybe to about medium high. And as we turn it on to medium high, we're gonna put some butter in this pan. Now you can use oil, especially if you're vegan, you can use oil, because other than this butter, it is a vegan dish. But you can use avocado oil, because avocado oil has a high burn point. So that's a good one to use. I use butter because I like to brown the apples, and butter just tends to brown it better. Now, if you're wondering what kind of butter I'm using, because I'm not using your average old margarine or anything like that, I'm using Kerrygold pure Irish butter. You can get it with salt or without salt. I use this one for the apple so that I don't have to add extra salt in there. Okay, so we're gonna let that melt for a little bit, and then we're gonna get our apples. Okay, so I have been soaking these apples in an apple cider vinegar and water mixture. The reason I do that is because although they are still organic, you know, with organic, they don't use a lot of pesticides and things like that on them, but you still want to get the dirt and stuff off. So we have done that. So with your apples, it's very easy to peel an apple, right? I never like to hear that sound. That is a horrible sound. To core an apple, just very simple. Just cut on both sides and then cut the middle out. It's real simple. Now you want to dice these, okay? So dice, dice, dice. About this size. That's a pretty good size, right? And you just toss them on in there. Now I'm actually preparing for an event that I'm going to today, and this is going to be what I'm serving. So you get privy, meaning privileges, to seeing how it's made up. You don't want the chunks to be too big because you want them to be bite-sized. I think I'll cut it this way for now, so this way you won't hear that loud. And it's always important to kind of tuck your fingers under so that you're not chopping your fingers off. That's important. The seeds, you definitely want to take the seeds out. And when you're putting the apples in there, be careful not to splash and burn yourself. Now, of course, you know, in normal television, they would have had these already cut up, you know, nice and pretty for you. No, I don't do stuff like that because I really want you to see. I mean, I do stuff like that sometimes. But I do want you to see today how easy and how quick this recipe is from start to finish without the prep involved. I actually made this dish over the weekend with some lovely couples. They were amazing. And I love it when I do these cooking classes and people hear that it's a healthy cooking class and automatically their face is like, And I even actually had a man say to me, I don't want to eat this or I don't want to participate because I like food and if it's healthy, it's not good. He didn't know me very well. So although he was not part of the actual cooking class, he was there to help with the technical stuff that we had to do. I saved him a plate or two. And guess what? He liked it. So that made me feel kind of good because I really want people to understand God made some amazing flavors. Amazing flavors. And we really need to just take advantage of them. You know what? I'll do the pear last. Yeah, we really need to just take advantage of the flavors that God made. You know, He made this food for our enjoyment. And the problem is we have taken it to a place that is just so, where it's void of flavor. We have taken all the flavor out and now we have to try to put the flavor back in. What kind of nonsense is that, right? That's stressful in and of itself. So God said, no, you need to go back to the basics. And that's what we're doing here at Clean Good Eats. We're going back to the basics. I wish you had smell-o-vision. I know I say that all the time. I really do wish you had smell-o-vision because this smells delicious. And there are not a lot of ingredients in it. I mean, you're not going to find processed sugars or anything like that in it. I know when my Nana used to make pies, I thought the whole bag of sugar was going in there. I'm not going to lie, it tasted good. However, you felt that crash right after you ate it. And that's never good. You don't want your food to stop you from enjoying life. So, eat foods that are life-giving. Okay? All right. So we're almost finished cutting up our apples here. And I'm even going to share with you some variants to this recipe that I normally will use. Well, I don't normally use them. I normally use them for my family, not necessarily in my classes. Because I think I can't give all the secrets away in the classes, but I'll give them away here because, I don't know, I just feel like I'm in a giving mood today. So, after we cut up the apples. I like to leave the pear in there a little bit longer. I don't know why. You know, it's kind of like that story about the turkey leg in the oven. Why did the mom cut off the turkey leg? Well, I don't know. You know, my mom always cut off the turkey leg. Well, let's ask your mom why she cut off the turkey leg, when she was making a turkey. Oh, I don't know. My mom used to cut off the turkey leg. So then finally they asked the great-great-grandma, why you cut off the turkey leg? Well, I cut off the turkey leg because it wouldn't fit in the pan. You know, it's just, we do things sometimes and we don't even realize why we do them. So, yeah, I don't know why I leave that pear in there, but I do. All right, so now all of the apples are in there. We'll saute them up a little bit. Ooh, look at that. They are already browning so nicely. And remember, the pan is on medium high, okay? And they're browning rather nicely. Okay, so then the next thing that I want to do is I want to add a little bit of cinnamon to it. And you can add some nutmeg, like you can add whatever spices that are kind of sweet that would go along with it that you would like. Okay, so now we're going to get into this Asian pear. And if you've never had an Asian pear, they're very good. Kind of translucent on the inside. Very, well, they can be sweet if you catch them ripe enough. Okay. And you cut them just like you cut an apple, except their seeds tend to go a little bit deeper inside. So you want to be careful with that, okay? Oh my goodness, this cinnamon is delicious. And I don't even like the smell of cinnamon. But this cinnamon, yeah. I think it's because the apples are so on point. All right, so we're almost finished cutting up this pear. And as you see, there's no real rhyme or reason. It doesn't have to be pretty, okay? I realize that we like to look at pretty food, but I like to taste better food. So it doesn't have to be pretty in that regard, but I guarantee you by the time you'll finish and you see this, it will be very pretty. All right. All of that lusciousness in there. Of course, we reserve the bananas for last because the bananas will get mushy if you put them in there too soon. And we don't want mushy bananas. Oh, it's like this last one just doesn't want to go. All right, so we have all that. Now, to add our sweetener, we're going to have two different types of sweetener. But both of these sweeteners have wonderful medicinal effects. So, we'll use about 4 dates. Serving size for a date is about 5. So we'll cut that in half. And then we'll cut it horizontally. And what dates do is it adds some fiber, which is good, okay? La, 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 la. All right, and then we have our last date. Add in there. Mesh the flavors together. Now, for now, I want this to kind of soften up a little bit, so I'm going to put the top on that. Next, I'm going to clean off my cutting board here. All right. So we're going to also add, and you know, it's so funny, because whenever people see this bottle, they're like, what in the world are you adding? But you didn't drink. I don't drink, and nothing against those people who do. I just know for me personally, not a good deal. So this is not Crown Royale. This is bourbon maple syrup. And bourbon maple syrup has B vitamins, magnesium. Magnesium is like your happy pill, right? So it does have that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pour some of that in there. Maybe about, I'd say, almost a 4th cup. Really, you don't even need that much. I'd say maybe 2 tablespoons really might do it for you. And then we're going to turn it down. When you start hearing it sizzle loud, you want to make sure you turn it down. Okay, so then next we're going to open up our bananas. Oh, this one's kind of mushy. Didn't look mushy from the outside, but it's a little mushy now. That's okay. We'll firm it up. I don't really know how we'll firm it up, but we'll firm it up. Okay, so then just chop. Done. And then we'll take our apples and syrup and we'll put it to the side. And then we'll take our bananas and put them in. Because you want the bananas almost to be kind of fried a little bit. So you want to try to get them to just sit on their own at the bottom of the skillet. All right. Now we're going to have some granola because texture is very important. You don't want a meal that's just mushy, right? You need some texture. So we have some granola here. These are ancient grain granola from, you guessed it, Costco. Costco, I'm just telling you, every video I have where I am cooking, and even many that I am not cooking, I'm gonna plug you because y'all are just amazing. And I give props, respect to those businesses that are really doing something great. So I'm gonna put some of this granola on the apples, not on the bananas, okay? Maybe about half of it. So this is probably about half a cup of granola. I'm gonna put that on top of it and then we're gonna cover it. And then we wait. And then we wait. And then we wait. So as we're waiting, I did want to share some things with you. You know, stress, sometimes we can joke about things, but stress can get to a point, and there's good stress and bad stress, but it can get to a point where it's really not a joking matter. And if you feel that you are overstressed, that you are finding it difficult to deal with life, then you need to get help. You need to talk to someone, even if that someone is a professional, because sometimes we don't always feel comfortable. That's always my dog. Don't mind my dog. Sometimes, yeah, this is my life, y'all. I don't even hide my life. Like, I could edit stuff out. It just doesn't even make a difference. I'm not even gonna edit stuff out because this is my life. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, when you are stressed, and if you get to a point where it's too much, try to talk to someone. Even if that someone can't be family and it needs to be a professional, talk to someone who will help you lower your stress and preserve your mental state, because that is most important. All right, so now we're looking at this, and guess what, y'all? You saw that? It's like less than 20 minutes. It's done. It is finished. So we're just gonna swish it around here just a little bit more, because as you see, you just kind of wanted the bananas to get some of that caramelization, right? You can see it, getting some of that caramelization. Turn them over. And see, now they're starting to get soft. You don't want them too soft. A little soft is fine. You don't want them too soft, right? Look at that. That is delicioso. All right, so I'm gonna pour the rest of these in and mix them up. All right. I probably should have gotten a spoon. Hold on, let me get a spoon. Okay. So the proof is always in the pudding. Ooh, look at that. That looks so pretty. Okay. And then, yes, I do. I drizzle a little bit more of the syrup over. And you have yourself a delicious, stressed is just desserts backwards dish. Oh. Yeah, I could eat it with a spoon, but why? Thank you so much. Go to the website, cleangoodeats.com. You will find so many amazing things that we're doing there. If you've missed any of our CGE Q&A episodes, you can view some of them on the website, or you can go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button and you can view past episodes of the CGE Q&A. Thank you again, big time to our sponsors, Stiff Family Farms and Military Wife Matters. I am Sakina Bunch, bringing the family back to the table one meal at a time by restoring healthy relationships with food, others, and self. Go have a stress-free week. Bye-bye.